Hey, I just wanted to tell you that I've been finding out recently that something really amazing and exciting has been going on the YouTube platform. YouTube is making it easy for anybody to get views. YouTube is making it easy for new channels to get their content pushed out there. YouTube is making it easy for new and small channels to get subscribers. YouTube is making it easy for people to get monetized. YouTube is actually making it easy for small channels and small time creators to make money faster into the game. I don't think YouTube has ever been as easy as what it looks like right now. I don't know about you, but I first started noticing something really interesting taking place within my feed. Those videos that YouTube suggests that you might want to watch based on what you have been watching or what you're watching right now. And what I started noticing, and I believe I started to notice this approximately 3 months ago, and I started noticing that while I would see the known creators that I was used to seeing, the bigger creators with all the views, like the video, they would show me all these videos with like 50,000 views, 10,000 views, 100K thousand views, right? Like you're used to seeing that kind of stuff, right? And unless it was a smaller creator that I had found and been used to watching, then of course some of their content would be in the suggested feed too. But the thing about that is then, well, I would recognize those people. I would recognize those content creators. But in this case, I was seeing videos that had small numbers of views from content creators I had never heard of before. Well, at first, when I started seeing this on the first video or two, I kind of just chalked it up and thought, well, maybe they just posted that video like a minute ago. And it just happens to be related to this theme that I was just watching in this video that I just watched. And so YouTube popped it up because it's new. And then when this started happening over and over again, though, in terms of what YouTube was suggesting to me, I eventually got curious and I started thinking, this is unusual. I usually in the suggestion or videos that have been watched by a lot of people, especially if it's by somebody that I haven't heard of before. And the only exception to that would be, like I said, content creators that I'd already been watching, and then they're going to suggest more of their content because YouTube knows that I must like them and value their content, which makes sense because let's face it, YouTube gets paid by the ads that AdSense pays them. Creators can get part of AdSense money, but YouTube gets most of that pie. So in case you didn't realize that, I'm pretty sure that that's where YouTube is actually getting its money to survive because we're not paying them, right? As the content creators, we're not paying them to put all of our material up there. I mean, think about how much it costs just to go get a website. That's not terribly cheap, right? To just have a little website that you pay for every month, it costs money because there's expenses to having things take up space in the great cloud and the unknown. I don't really understand how it works. I'm not all that technological with computer things, but obviously it would cost money because everyone's got a business and everybody needs to pay the bills they need to pay and be able to buy the food and to eat ultimately in their home life that they need to eat. And the people at YouTube would be no different than that. And we're not paying them to have our channels there. So where are they making money from? AdSense, right? It's just that we can get a piece of that pie as the content creators. This is how I believe it works. I don't really know, but I think that this is how it works. And how it has been working on YouTube is that if you're a new content creator, it usually takes quite a long time to get views and subscribers, and it can vary. Like I've started many channels myself, to be honest, and I've had different ones take off at different speeds, and I've grown a few to around 1,000 or slightly below 1,000. I have one that's a faceless channel that has like 395, and then I didn't even keep creating for it anymore. And then I've had a few I've started that maybe I got like one or two subscribers or something like that. And, um, so we know how it's been and we've heard the stories. It's hard to grow on YouTube. It's competitive and, good luck. Most of the people aren't the people that end up making the money. And I don't know about you, but sometimes I've even wondered if it was even, maybe the people that are making the money were like friends of the people in YouTube or something. Like maybe there are selected ones, maybe the rest of us are just the regular people and we're never going to make it. Have you had thoughts like that? I have. But along the way in my YouTube adventures, especially in my art channel, I have seen friends that I have known and made friends and gotten to talk to people and seen their channels grow. And I've watched two creators that I've known who were starting out just a few years ago, like actually reach over 100,000 subscribers over 4 years time. And so, I have proven to myself that the little people can make it too if they stay consistent. However, usually that consistency requires a lot of grind and time. And a lot of people just don't have the stamina and the energy to keep it going because editing can take quite a lot of time, especially with the way videos have had to be to keep the viewers interested, or at least what we've been told the viewers want. I sometimes think that some of the higher ups and the powers that be like create things that then they feed to people that then make the people want it to be that way, and then we get told, well, that's how the people want it, when really they were conditioned to want it that way. I don't know. Anyway, but apparently some things are changing, and apparently viewers are even appreciating some content that is longer and more laid back and authentic in style without all the editing, which can be good news if editing and the time constraints of that was something that was causing you problems within either trying out having a YouTube channel in the past, or if you haven't even done it yet because you just are kind of overwhelmed at the onset of what the reality would really be like, and so you haven't even done it. Whatever boat you're in within that, if YouTube is something that you've wanted to do and that you've wished you could do and kind of regretted not having started yet, or staying with if you did start, then this is a really good time to either start for the first time or pick it back up and get going again, because YouTube is making it super easy. YouTube is helping people. YouTube is actually helping creators. YouTube is actually helping new channels get out there. The content of new channels get out there. YouTube is on super easy mode right now. YouTube is on easy mode right now. Not only that, but one of the video formats that's working really well with audiences right now is actually a little bit longer. They're like, some people are making videos approximately 20 minutes long. Sometimes they're longer, sometimes a tiny bit shorter, but close to that 20-minute range. Some people's content is even going well past that to like a half hour and even longer. If you want to go there, and if you have the patience yourself to go there and the stamina yourself to go there, I guess you can. But the point is that apparently people, at least some people, enough people to make this style being talked about and relevant right now, is a longer, they're calling it the new vlogging style. That's what many people are calling it right now. And this can be done in a variety of ways, one of which is kind of like this, me just talking to you with like a camera on, and I'm sharing information that has relevance and a point to many people, probably you, or you probably would not have clicked on this title. If you have not had an interest in having a successful YouTube channel in some kind of a way in your life, whether you've started a channel or not, haven't started, dropped it, started and are continuing, but it's small and you're not quite sure what to do. Obviously, if you clicked on this, you have some interest in some type of a successful channel, and you were interested to hear what I had to say, or you wouldn't have clicked on it, right? Am I right? Okay, I'm right. So the point is that number one, YouTube itself is on super easy mode right now. YouTube is actually helping content creators get views. YouTube is helping channels get views right now. Like, they literally are pushing out contents, videos of newer channels that even don't have very many views on the actual videos themselves, and they're pushing them out. So that's number one. I mean, and that is the biggest part of this. That is, in my opinion, the most exciting part. However, if you're having constraints with time and getting your videos done, and that already was a problem for you, then this next part is probably going to be at least close to as equally as exciting as the whole YouTube side of this, or maybe equal. And that is one of the styles. There are a few different styles of videos that are working really well on YouTube right now. One of which is this newer vlogging. So the old way of vlogging is people were just showing themselves doing things in their life. And a lot of times people would start with brushing their teeth in the morning, and they're showing people them brushing their teeth in the morning. And then they were showing them do the various things throughout the day, and then coming home at night, editing the parts into, you know, whatever length of video they were going to post, and then posting it. And people were enjoying watching that, at least with some creators. Now, some people tried to follow that and it didn't really work out for them. But for some creators, like Casey Neistat is, you know, he might have been one of the first people to do that. And, you know, obviously when someone is one of the first people to do a new thing, they're going to probably be the ones that are going to get the big audience. And then if a whole bunch of people start trying to copy them, it's just like not really going to work. So that's another thing. Don't flat out try to copy somebody, because if you try to copy word for word or exactly what someone's doing, then they already have an audience. It's really just not going to work. It's going to be kind of stupid, and you're not really going to garner an audience from that. But you can be inspired by something someone's doing or something that they're talking about. If it's already along the lines of something that you know about and that you would like to share, you can certainly be inspired by the way that somebody is doing it or the theme. And then you can put your own flair on it. You can say it in your own words, say it from your own point of view, and just use the fact that they had a piece of content along those lines within a subject that you know about as, like evidence to yourself. Like, oh, hey, I guess I could make a piece of content on this. And then go ahead and just do that. And just do it your way, because you don't want to look like a copycat, or like no one will stick with you. Also, like if they started to like you because they found you, but then they thought you copied somebody and somebody was trying to rat you out for copying them, like maybe they're not even going to stick with you if they thought that. But anyway, there are many people that know a lot about the same things as we do, right? There's thousands of people, millions of people that probably know the same things I do, or some of the same things I do, and the same things you do. And there's people on YouTube that are talking about some of the same things you would talk about, or some of the same things I would talk about. But you are going to have your own way of talking about them. You're going to have your own insights. Or if you've come through something, if you've conquered a problem or found solutions to an issue or something that was holding you back, and you want to share about that, and you have a way to share about that for an extended period of time, then the way that you would talk about it would be a lot different than even someone else who's broken through the same type of problem themselves, because they've got their own experience within that, just like you've got your own experience within that. And within the mental side of it, the emotional side of it, what you've gone through, how you dealt with it, then the physical actions you took, the solutions you started finding out, or that you are finding out if you're currently in it, these can all be things that can make for a great theme for a channel, at least for a while. And then you can always segue to something else if you need to. It just depends. But what I'm saying is that with YouTube making it as easy for content creators as it is right now, this is the time to start. Like, don't blow this by. If you've already regretted not starting a channel or letting one die off that you had started, or even if you're still working it, but it just hasn't been going as great as you wanted and you're not really quite sure why, I'm saying just spruce up your game a little bit, or dust the channel off, spruce it up, go back to it either along the same lines as what you created before in terms of the content theme, or change the content theme style, or subject if you want to, or start a new channel. I've heard of people doing it both ways within this whole situation. I've heard of people who've had old channels that they kind of stopped creating for, that took them back out and it was the same theme. So they kept going with it, but they just started doing it in a different way. They started doing it within this new vlog format, which started working better for them. And then their channel started exploding. Whereas in the past, the way that they were doing it, which in some cases I've heard them say took a lot more effort, time, and budget, and the channel was dead in the water. It wasn't going anywhere. So imagine that. Imagine spending way less money, way less time, and having an easier, more fun time of it, and actually having your channel bloom in this theme that you actually really loved from all those years ago, and it didn't work back then, but now you're doing it in this new vlog way, and now it's just taking off and everything's easier about it. And that's really what this one guy was talking about. So in his case, he took out an old channel that had never taken off, but he still loved the theme and he wanted to stay in the theme. And now it's just taking off, and he's making a lot more money in AdSense than he ever had in years of that channel existing beforehand. He's made a lot more money in the last 5 months. Excuse me. I've also heard of someone who had a channel that they let just kind of slide to the wayside. They weren't making content for it for a while. They decided to pick YouTube back up within the new changes that YouTube has been doing by making YouTube really making it so easy for everybody now, and YouTube really pushing people's content out now, and YouTube, really just helping to push out small and new creators and their videos. And YouTube is really helping people get those subscriber numbers up and get monetized quickly and make into making money quickly. Many people now, not just a small number like before. I don't know if you've noticed this, but did you see how all these years, just like a small percentage of people would kind of rise up and everybody else kind of stayed down or mediocre, or they just die out? I can't promise that everybody who's making YouTube videos right now is in the new channel arena is skyrocketing, because I think the content itself does have like something to do with that. And you kind of got to get that right, but it's easier now. Like, that's just the thing. It's like actually easier now to get that right. than it has been before. There's just a few things to keep in mind, right? But I think we've all heard, or most of us have heard by now, what some of those things are. And one of the things is, pick a theme and stay on that theme at least for a while and try to not really deviate unless it's sort of at least kind of related. Sometimes there can be an umbrella that's an overarching theme. And then there's a lot of different subcategories that can fit within it. But still within that, especially starting out, I'd stick to one theme narrowly for a while because YouTube has to get used to what you're doing at first. You got to give YouTube a little time. Even though YouTube is pushing out new content creators right now, and YouTube is on super easy mode right now, and YouTube is helping people get monetized really quick, and YouTube is actually helping people get paid money right now as smaller creators, like just off AdSense. I'm not even talking about them selling things. I'm talking just off AdSense. You still have, don't expect that from video one. You still have to kind of work it. From what I'm seeing across the board, it's like people are working it for a few weeks or a few months, but compared to what people have been facing before with YouTube, I mean, this is like a dream come true. Like, this is really a dream come true. And so honestly, if you have regretted not doing your channel before, or just not staying with it, or just, maybe not taking it seriously enough to be consistent and really making a go for it in a committed way where you're really looking at it like, I'm doing this, I'm making a business out of this, rather than that feeling of like, oh yeah, I think I'll make a video today, like, well, if all things work out in my day, then maybe later I can make a video, or maybe tomorrow. I don't mean that feeling and the energy. I mean, I'm doing this, I'm giving this a go, I'm gonna give this a go. I'm going to take this on. This is my time. Because, like, I've always wondered why YouTube had made it so hard for most people. I mean, even the people that made it big, they had to work really hard to get there for a long time to get there. Like, most of them did not just blow up overnight. Like, a few people did, but that was really rare. But the other ones that are still rare compared to the ones who never really made it still had to really, they were working the field, man, like for a while. And I mean, they were probably exhausted for a long time before it really kind of started to bloom. And now they're sitting pretty. And now we're, the rest of us are looking at them being like, oh gosh, I wish I just would have had the fortitude to just keep going. Because look at where they are now. And I could have been there. I mean, have you ever had thoughts like that? I have. But I've also had thoughts like, why does YouTube make it this hard? And I'm not saying they should hand it to us all on a silver platter, because I do think we need to learn to be consistent. I do think we need to learn what, like, an audience kind of wants from a creator, which is they want to kind of know, at least to a point, what they can rely on from a creator. Because if you're changing your theme around all the time, then that may not appeal to somebody that really liked your last video. If now the next one you're changing it to a completely different theme, but now YouTube is trying to promote that to the people that liked your video the last time, but now those people aren't going to like that video. Like, then the algorithm's going to die on you still. Like, so yeah, YouTube is pushing people out, and YouTube is on easy mode in one regard. But if you're going to be like haphazard in your content making and in your theme, your category, then you're still going to probably not have a channel that's really going to work, because the algorithm isn't going to be able to figure out where to actually streamline your material. So just pick a lane and stay in that lane for a while. And then my advice would be is, if you do want to start incorporating other themes, then do it. But even you might even be able to try to find a way to sort of make it kind of like related. But I think once you grow an audience big enough, I think you can start to deviate on slightly different subjects. And it doesn't matter as much, because you have such a wide range of audience members that even if YouTube is only going to show 10% of your subscribers on any new video, which they probably are still going to do, I'm guessing, they're just pushing it out to more people as a new video, like, than they would have before. But I think the rest of the game is still the same. Like, they'll probably show 10% of your subscribers once you start getting them. And so if you have like 100,000 subscribers, and then they show your new video to 10,000 people, then chances are, out of 10,000 people, if you diverged on a theme to a little bit of a different one, chances are some of those 10,000 people would find relevance in that theme. And because they already like you from the theme they've been liking you for, they're going to go check it out. But if you've only got 100 subscribers and YouTube shows it to 10 people, your new video to 10 people, who liked your last subject matter, and now you have a completely different subject matter, and none of those 10 people really relate to it, or one person relates to it, or even worse, a few people check it out because they like you, but then they realize as it's on for a minute, they realize they don't really like it because it's not relevant to them, and they click it off. That could kill your YouTube channel. So I mean, if you're going to do things like that, yeah, this whole thing with YouTube being amazing right now is maybe not going to help you. But if you can pick a theme and stay on that theme and just keep going with it, then from what I'm seeing across the board, like what I've started to see on my own and what I have substantiated through a few weeks of investigation at this point, is that YouTube is on super easy mode. It's pushing new content creators and their videos out there. And YouTube is actually helping people get views. YouTube is actually like new creators get views. YouTube is actually helping new creators get views. YouTube is helping new channels get to the monetization point pretty fast. And YouTube is helping people actually get to where they're making money with AdSense without having to have your products to sell, with AdSense, pretty quick from what I've seen and consistently been hearing from different people who have been, some who've been playing the YouTube game a long time and have had successful channels, and some not simultaneously, who can speak from that experience, as well as people who've just started a YouTube channel like as little as 6 weeks ago and are already monetized and already almost at 5,000 subscribers with 24 videos that they've made because they were able to stay on a theme and just do this simple vlogging style that people are enjoying right now. I'm not saying this is not the only style people enjoy right now, but it's one of them, and it's easier to create. Okay, so there's no point to delay anymore. If you've wanted to do YouTube but you just haven't, or you haven't done it in the way you wanted to, or you let it go, or you just never did it yet, like this is the time to get on the ball and to just, either pick it back up or start to begin with, and just get out your phone or whatever and start filming yourself and start sharing something that you have to talk about. And if you're not quite ready to take out the phone yet and film yourself, then at least take out a pad of paper or a digital notepad and at least start to brainstorm some ideas, either of some different channel theme ideas that you think you could stick with for a long time to come or a while to come on one theme, or some title ideas and video concept ideas if you already have a theme picked out that you're really solid within. All right, so I'm going to keep talking about this and different aspects of it for a little while here. So I will see you back on the next video, and we will talk more about this there.